Well, hi there folks. Okay, so there was a bit of a teaser at the end of my last video. Big box just arrived in the post. So what's in the box? Let's see how quickly you can guess it. Right, well, it's a box within a box. I'm still not going to let you give you a glimpse of it there. Alright, I'm making progress. Seems to me the only way is to break these tabs. Here we go. Right. So, some very big decals. Well, we know what that is, don't we? That's a vertical stab. I think we can tell what that is. That's a horizontal stab. That is two halves of a very large wing with very large engine mounts moulded in. And that is a very large, nice fuselage. So obviously two halves of fuselage that you have to glue together. And big chunky manual in 5 languages. Some little bits and pieces. Plus engine mounts in there in aluminium, which is unusual. But anyway, so that's what's in the box. I'm going to put it together and then hopefully, and I've obviously got to sort out servos, motors, speed controllers, and then hopefully install my number 2 SpeedyBee board and my ELRS. But wait a minute, I haven't actually told you yet what it is in the box. It's the Multiplex Twinstar. It's just the kit, so I've got servos, motors, other bits and pieces, 2 speed controllers coming along. But I'll show you just how far I've got in the meantime while I'm waiting for those bits to arrive. First thing I did was glue in the snake for the elevator and learned something. I usually use U-4 for that, which has always worked fine. I used, as they suggest in the instructions, CA glue, super glue, and quickly discovered that it wicks right into the tube and totally wrecked one of the tubes. Fortunately on this I'm only going to use elevator, not using rudder. I very rarely use rudder, don't think it's necessary on this. So managed to pull it out and I put the spare one in, what was basically the rudder one in, and the other thing I did also at that stage was glue the vertical stab and horizontal stab in, because as you can see it goes in 2 halves. There's no reason why not to glue that in. So that's ready for me to put the other half on. Glued these in, these little clips that actually hold the main wing on. Chopped the foam around in here because even though there is a hole in the middle here underneath where the main wings goes on, it's not a very suitable space for installing a flight controller, because obviously you can't really get in there to set it up properly or get it level. So what I've done is carved away the foam in here, and as you can see that's where the elevator servo is going to go, and it works. So as you can see I've carved away the foam in here, mounted the flight controller on a bit of foam board, glued a couple of rails there to take the board, and cut a slot in the foam there to take it on the port side. So that worked out very well. And as you can see, once it's put together, the board slides really nicely in and out for easy access. Far as the GPS goes, I've cut that back there so that that will slot in, and that feeds through down the middle of the fuselage to the board. So that actually works out very well. And of course and I'll just show you the wing, because you're not supposed to glue it together until you've got the speed controllers and motors in, but patience was never my strong point. I'll just show you the wing. 5-minute epoxy. So obviously glued that section together first, and then once that's well and truly gone off, glued the carbon spar or fiberglass spar in it using 5-minute epoxy, and had to be fairly ingenious about how I weighted it down to give it a good couple of hours to go well and truly go off. Plus, as you can see, I did actually use some CA on these control horns, that's the word, I can never think of that. So that's ready to go, and all in all I think it's a rather handsome looking aircraft. I'm not sure that I'm actually going to put all the little windows along to make it look like an airliner. I might try and make it a bit jazzier looking with a few stripes and things, but great looking plane. Stay tuned, hopefully servos, motors and speed controllers arriving soon. Servos centred and hot glued in, just a tiny little touch of hot glue. They don't need to be smothered in it because you may have to pull them out at some point. The spec is for 19 gram servos, but I've got models as big as this with 9 gram servos, so I compromised on 13 gram all metal gears, which should be absolutely fine. One important thing to note here, this kit is supplied with these little clamping nuts here that bolt on. Now I've seen these things before, but quite often with the self-locking nut there, which means it's still, you can tighten it and it'll still rotate. Very important not to over tighten them. What you do is pretty much just over finger tight and a tiny blob of super glue they suggest, or of course you could use Loctite, so that it can still rotate. So don't miss that. And you probably noticed that I've actually stuck the decals on, even though it's far from finished. I just couldn't resist putting them on, and I think it looks absolutely great. What a beautiful flying machine this is. I think it's going to be my new #1. Of course I can't actually stick the two halves together yet until those very final stages, because at the moment it's not possible to slip the SpeedyBee board in with it glued together. I might have a go at trying to change that, because it would be useful to be able to get it a little bit further along. But anyway, don't go away, because coming soon the motors and the servos will be in, and with a bit of luck it'll be ready for a maiden. Well, my motor's just arrived. D2830 1000 kVs, complete with prop mount and screws, and the kit does come with these engine mounts which actually glue in here, and aluminium mounts for the motor. Didn't quite fit actually, couldn't quite get the holes to line up, but it was that way round. As you can see, I've enlarged these using a drill bit, and I can just get them in now. Obviously this screws on here like so, leading the 3 wires from the brushless motor through the top. Right, motors are mounted. Never seen anything like that before, but having said that, I don't buy many kits, and they will go in. I'm going to use 5-minute epoxy. They will go in just here. There's a slight recess, so that they will end up looking like, this is upside down of course, looking like that. I'm going to have to come up with some way to fill this in, and most likely some of the build blogs I've seen on this, I've seen speed controllers in here under the foam. Not a good idea because they get warm. So speed controller will go in here, well ventilated, and I shall probably make a little foam board cover to go over that. So all I'm waiting for now is speed controllers. Don't go away. And I just took a quick look in the manual supplied with this to see if I've actually fitted this right. And it shows in the picture here a motor mounted on the inside of that aluminium mount. Well, obviously that would be impossible with that because the mounting holes are at the back. So I googled the Permax BLO 2830 1100, and they're £69.90 each, £70, that's £140 for 2 motors, which is a bit crazy. These are £12 each, delivered from Unmanned Tech. So basically just ignore the illustration in the manual. Bit of an update on that. I just looked again at the recess here, and that is designed to only go in if it's mounted without any thrust angle, any down thrust. That is designed to go into there, which either means if I want to get that to actually sit further in like that, I've got to hack the foam, which isn't difficult, or looking at this again, if I cut that back slightly there, I can mount this on the inside, and that's going to put it back by ½ an inch. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to cut that there, mount it on the inside. That will put it slightly further back, but I'm still going to have to cut the foam to actually get it in there on the same plane. Right, so that's 2 brushless motors mounted on the insides of these. As I say, just a little cutaway there so that it would clear it. And now our next job, obviously, cut away the foam in here, plenty of thickness there, just so that I can go back, just another couple of millimeters really. I think that'll do fine. Yeah, it doesn't have to go back far. Don't really want the prop sticking out too far in the front, probably want to come back to about there. So that's working out well. Right, so there it is, sat in and recessed. Question is how far out do I poke it, but I think that looks about right. And I've got some props on because when I 5-minute epoxy them in, I want to be able to check the thrust angles this way, horizontal, and I want to be able to check the down thrust angles to make sure they're identical. So next step is the 5-minute epoxy and they will be in. Right, motors are epoxied in, 5-minute epoxy, and I'm just finishing off here. These are my speed controllers. I've measured the current, it's about 16-17 amps there, 20 amp Flycolor. And what I've done here, initially I was thinking about putting the speed controller there so it gets some ventilation, but that means an awful long run of wire. So what I've done here is I'm going to put it along there. I saw a build blog where, believe it or not, somebody had actually encased that in foam. Not a good idea. So what I've done here, as you can see, a little bit of a cutout. Little cutouts there too for my extenders. But that will now fit. And little hole there means the speed controller is actually ventilated. So I'm just about to, I think they suggest super glue for putting that in. I don't much like that idea. But I might use Yoo-Hoo Pour. But it's getting very close to being finished and ready for a maiden. So, not very much later, here she is, ready to go. And I must say I'm very well pleased with it. I think it looks absolutely great. Even one of my friends who's a traditional balsa basher commented that he thought it looked great, which I took to be a real compliment. Anyway, so let's take a closer look. I couldn't actually video the real-time affixing the wing, but bear in mind you've got connections for 2 motors, you've got connections for 2 servos, and you've got the fairly heavy duty wires that actually go to the speed controllers, which are, of course, as I showed you before in my other video, which are just here exposed to the air. So as you can see, these are glued in now. These little, I used Yoo-Hoo Pour on these as opposed to CA. Carved it a little bit to make absolutely sure it was flush, and as I said, these are ventilated. I've got 8-inch props on there. Recommended are 9x4 5s. These are actually some old drone props similar to the old DJI Mavic that I've modified, bushed so that they will actually go on these shafts, and I've measured the current full out at 17 amps. These were just getting warm at that, and in my tests I think it's going to prop hang with these, so there's going to be plenty of thrust there. If not, I can put bigger props on. I'll show you inside the cockpit, and a little top tip here. This is actually secured by a couple of plastic clips, but unless you actually put a tab here to pull it off, you've got to get your fingernails under that. So all I did was put a bit of tape there so I can pull it off. But the installation of my SpeedyBee worked really well. Basically it will slide in and out, and I can actually remove it completely if I want to. That is the connection for the LiPo, which will be 3S 2200. That is the connection for plugging in the USB to change iNav settings, and that is my little connector there, 4-way connector that I've used to connect digital VTX. Obviously that's the elevator servo. Didn't bother with rudder, very rarely use rudder, and centre of gravity is just fine. I'll put it on the screen with that 3S about here, so that's going to work out well. You may notice there I've got my GPS on the top there, plus I've also got a beeper, because should it end up in the bushes somewhere, with the beeper outside like that you can really hear it. So I'm very well pleased with the way that's gone, considering this has been around for at least 10 years, and just wanted to kind of bring it to people's attention again, because I think it's a great model. By all accounts, all the accounts I've read of it, absolutely no, you will never find anyone who mentions vices with this. So that's it. Must say I'm very, very pleased with it. I think it looks great with this. All up weight without the LiPo was about 850 grams, I think. So not massively heavy. Oh, incidentally, my ELRS, I just noticed, this antenna is mounted there. Caroline Tyler suggested it should be vertical, so that's what I've done with it. Just made a little hole there, and the actual receiver is the size of my thumbnail, so that sits in there well away from the other electrics, just about here. So there it is, and I must say I'm very well pleased with it. I've not seen anyone report any vices whatsoever with it, and I did quite a lot of research into what would be the best large twin for FPV, and there were a few that have nasty habits. I won't mention any names, but tip stalling was very popular with some of them, but this has no bad reports at all. So Maiden will be coming soon. If you want to see that Maiden, why not hit the old subscribe button, and if you've enjoyed this or found it useful, please give it a like. But I must say, this has been around years, it's probably been forgotten about now, but if you're looking for a, well, I'm assuming it's going to fly well, if you're looking for a really nice big twin, the Multiplex Twinstar ND could be just the one for you. But I'll stop waffling now, and hopefully Maiden very soon. So until then, bye for now.